groups are requested to select a spokesperson to express the group's concern because each side will be allowed 10 minutes to speak. Plats, rezoning, revised master plan, and street renaming require a public hearing, after which the Planning Commission will deliberate and render its decision. Planning Commission members with a personal or financial interest in any petitioner's request are required to recuse themselves. Tonight, the members present are Leslie Stone, Cruz Reeves, Reginald Hawkins, Buddy Hardwick, Reggie Dunn, Frank Cook, Ann Clemens, Garrett Smith, and myself, James Reed. Members of the land use are Warren Adams, Tanya Ingram, all right, have everybody got a chance to read the notes from the minutes of the last meeting? If so, a motion is in order.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion is made and second. All those in favor? Those opposed? All right, Tanya, are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, sir. Number 8.
Number 8.
6707 Taylor Circle was a rezoning from O1 to B2. They have withdrawn that.
All righty then. Okay.
All right. The rest is still on. So number 1, Jeffcoat Engineers representing Ted Pettiway requesting to rezone 1.13 acres on the north side of Old Wetumpka Highway, approximately 400 feet east of Motley Drive from B2 and R60 to a B2 district.
I've got the Jeffcoat. Sir?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I've got through Jeffcoat Engineers Surveyors at 928 South Hull Street in Montgomery.
Yes, sir.
And I'm representing Mr. Pettiway. And we have Mr. Pettiway and Mr. Taylor representing them today, and they'll help with the presentation. You know, this has two purposes. Not only to upgrade the zoning to a more practical use of B2, but it's got a split zoning going across this parcel, R60D and B2, and we'd like to get it under one piece of the same zoning. So we've prepared a survey and a legal description, and might say sort of cleaning it up. And I'll answer anything I can from engineering and surveying standpoint, but they'll help me out on the use.
So you said, as it presently stands, part of it is residential and part of it is commercial?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you want to make all of it commercial?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who are the gentlemen who are the people that's supposed to help you out?
Mr. Pettiway himself.
Please come forward.
Mr. Taylor.
What do you plan to do with this piece of property, sir?
What we plan to do with it, you know,
Give your name and address. Name and address.
My name Ted Pettiway.
Yes.
What we plan on doing with it is, I growed up working and worked hard and to get where I got, and I bought land through the years. And then in my neighborhood, I had older people to help me. They were mentors to me. So what I want to do, the people in the neighborhood, I got a petition. We got 78 signs, and they want a place in our neighborhood where we can have business in our own neighborhood that can bring incomes in. That's what we want. And they, you know, we had at one time, we had a bunch of drug dealers in there tearing up the neighborhood. So what we want to do now, since being a Christian, we want to do something that we're gonna show people the right way to do it, not the wrong way of doing things. That's what we're trying to do.
Okay. Are there any questions from the members of the Planning Commission?
Have y'all had any communication with the people around that? I'm talking about businesses and families around that.
Yeah, I went around and talked with all the neighbors, did all that. Because out there really ain't no business out there. There was a few stores out there, but the older people, they died out. So ain't nothing, we don't have nothing. We don't even have a store, nothing out there. And then the sad part is, they don't want that. The older people don't, some of the older people don't want that. They don't want you to do nothing, and they not gonna do nothing. And I own a lot of land out there. I own quite a bit of land right in that area.
Okay.
Sir, I just had a,
Wait a minute, hold on a second.
Oh, I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, you got more people that didn't want you to do anything.
No, we got more people. We got 7 or 8 on this petition. And you may have 5 or 6 don't want nothing. Okay. So, you know, I got 7 or 8 right here signed, and I got one with me. He's a businessman too, and he wanna build too. He wanna do something out there too.
Okay. All right.
And
my question was specifically, what type of businesses do you plan on putting there?
It'll be just some small.
talk in the microphone.
It'll be something small, just like I'm a landscaper. I need me a little building. My wife, she a beautician, haircut. You know, we not into no kind of clubs. We godly people. We don't do no drinking, no clubs. It's just basically business. People that done went to school, got trade, they ain't got nowhere to practice their trade.
All right.
Would you object to us?
Queuing it?
Yeah, queuing this thing to where it said you could not have any alcoholic beverages.
Oh, I ain't got no problem.
You don't have a problem.
No
with that?
problem. I'm not a drinker, and I'm not into the club. No alcohol.
All right.
My name is Robert Taylor, and I'm here to speak on behalf of Mr. Pettiway. What he failed to mention, too, is his dad was our neighborhood plumber way back in the day. Mr. Pettiway, we used to call him Dollar Bill. What Mr. Pettiway is doing is really a rejuvenation of what Madison Park once was. I was born there in 1950. While there were stores, Lightweight. We're going to have objections.
Go ahead. No, just go ahead.
Yeah, I was born Route 3, Box 402W, if somebody really wants to know, which later became Fuller Road. We once had these types of light industries that Mr. Pettiway is now talking about. Now, you'd have to cross a bridge if, let's say, kids are walking to get to a little store. There's nothing out there that can sell sundries and sodas or nothing like that. At one time, there were barber shops in Madison Park, but they weren't officially dubbed that by business licenses and such. You have 78 people here who signed who would want to have an opportunity to do things in Madison Park. Now, what he didn't point out as well, he owns 13 acres of land that he's only parceling out some of that land to be used for light industry or business. I think there's a desperate need for it. I think if you're going to have residents, then you certainly need some place where they can go and not so far from home, just to do a little shopping for certain things. So I think it would be certainly a plus for the neighborhood. The land is not being used. It's been vacant for umpteen years. We have properties out there that are now just idle. They're abandoned, and no one is even doing anything with those. So I think his project would certainly enhance the neighborhood.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any other questions from the members?
The only question I have is that you mentioned barbershops and landscaping, and then you mentioned shopping stores and all that, but I didn't hear any talk about the businesses being any stores or... Well, you mentioned barbershops and beauty salons and a mechanic shop, but then you talked about people didn't have anywhere to shop for groceries, so I'm just trying to see where that fit in.
Convenience type stores. Like
Microphone, talking to the microphone.
Something of the nature of it. For instance, my home house, if I needed to go to Dollar General, I got to go to Wetumpka, or I got to come all the way over to West Ferry Road, or I got to go all the way up by the Coliseum to go to Walmart. Those type of light industries are what we're talking about. There once was a laundromat right where he is wanting to do something. There once were stores out there. You don't have any of that out there now. So what he's trying to do is bring some of that back to the community, and I think it's needed. I've been out there wanting to go get a little something from a store, and I got to drive all the way to Chisholm.
Yeah.
So
Thank
we
you.
need that kind of stuff out there.
Thank you.
Are you talking about you leasing this out?
Right.
Building something and leasing it out? Or are you talking about somebody coming in and trying and buying the land and then doing a barbershop or a retail or whatever?
It'll be something that I'm gonna build. It'll be metal building that I'm gonna build.
You're gonna build
Right,
it,
right,
and then
I'm
you're
gonna
gonna lease it.
And I'll lease them out to
Yes, sir.
people in the neighborhood.
All right, sir.
That's my point.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Are there any comments, questions from members of the audience? Please come forward. If you don't mind, if you can keep it brief, you know, we can take everybody. But if you're going to go long, then we probably two. We cut it down to two people. So, and please try not to make the same point that somebody has already made. Okay, go ahead. Who's first?
Okay.
Give your name and address, please.
Good morning. My name is Brenda Faye Wilson. My property is 3361 Old Wetumpka Highway, which is next, yes, it's right next to this, where they're talking about the barber shop, I guess, and the beauty salon and whatever. I was told, well, less than 2 years ago, they were supposed to be building garden homes or apartments or something like that, and they passed that, and they haven't started anything. So I'm all for trying to do the community. I'm working on my property, but I mean, it's like you're cross-talking. You're saying we're gonna do one thing, but you're doing something else.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's the other piece down in front of, well, I don't know, I think that's number 5, where it was supposed to be a community center. So I think that's where they're talking about putting.
Well, let's stick with this one now.
Okay,
Let's stick with
okay.
this one for right now.
Okay. Well, okay, stores. We're right off 231. I mean, if I'm for whatever's right. I'm not trying to knock anybody, but it's a residential
Ma'am,
area.
what do you think is right?
Excuse me?
What do you think is right?
Whatever. I mean, we can upgrade the community. I mean, but it's a resident. They're saying, I mean, you want to bring in.
Are you for or against this project?
Excuse me?
Are you for or against this project?
Against it.
Okay, just trying to get an
Oh,
understanding.
okay.
You're meandering.
Oh,
I'm Maxine Hendricks. We were down from Brooks Road, same thing. They have come in here and they have started quick deeding this property that is not theirs. That's why we need addresses. They did not have a meeting. Instead of getting with the community, he went around and he didn't tell people what they were signing for, those petitions. Because if he had told what he was signing for, they wouldn't have no 78 people to sign, because Madison Park is not for that. With all that traffic, with those big trucks coming in and out. We had property for our community center. It's been quick deeded. We need the name of those properties. How did he quick deed this? We want to know, because his name is not on the original deeds. And we need another meeting with all Madison Park to come together to let them know what's going on and what's going to take place. He can't keep sneaking in, doing rezoning, and Madison Park, people that live in there don't know anything about it. So we need a meeting like we had last time for the community at the church to get together and talk this over, because he didn't call like he was supposed to. We heard nothing from Jeffcoat.
I think when you're talking about the big trucks, now you're talking about the next
The
agenda item.
landscaping,
That's the next agenda. We need to stick to agenda item 1.
And when he said we need stores out there, we got the store right across the bridge. I mean, we right there. But we need another Dollar General store. Well, we need another Walmart. It's right there.
Okay.
Okay. Can I say this? Like when
Briefly.
they had the,
Briefly.
Oh, I'm sorry. Earlier, when they had, speaking of, on different sides of Old Wetumpka Highway, commercial property, D2, what have you, they were saying to join it or whatever. So on the east side, right here, they want to rezone as business property, but right across down so many feet, I don't really know, right? It's where the community center was supposed to have been. So they're saying you want to join these two combined on opposite sides of the street and make it business property. So I'm confused, you know.
Ma'am, have y'all, you keep mentioning a meeting, have you met with the gentleman?
I gave him,
No.
I mean, have y'all had an open meeting where you?
No, we haven't.
Would y'all be willing to do that? Come on up if you
Come
don't
up
mind.
to
We
the
gotta
mic,
hear
sir.
it.
When I was cleaning this property off, I met with this lady right here and her daughter and told them what I'm gonna, they asked me what I'm gonna do.
Let
And
me
I
ask you
told
something.
them.
Let me ask you something. When this was delayed in December, wasn't the plan was to have a meeting with everybody?
Well, I went around and talked
wasn't
with the
that
neighbors.
No. But wasn't the intent for it being delayed is to delay it so that you can have a meeting with everybody in one place? Wasn't that what you were supposed to do?
Well, that's what they said, to meet with everybody. When I met, I had a meeting last time. We got one area out there, we building houses. And I had the same problem on building the houses, but today, she was saying about the houses, I got to permit today to start the first house. I got it today. And that's what I'm saying. I got to permit today to start building houses.
Let's stay focused for a minute. My question is, we delayed it in December. Right. And the reason we delayed it was for you to have a meeting with all the people in the neighborhood in one place, at the community center, wherever. Wasn't that our intent? Wasn't that your intent in December?
Well, I wasn't here in December, but I was told, that was Mr. Jeffcoat told me, to have a meeting.
Okay, then why didn't you have the meeting then?
Well, we didn't meet in one place. All of them meet in one place. No, sir.
Okay.
Because, reason I'm telling you why, because when I met with them last time, when I got ready to build the houses, I met with them and I talked with them, but
We're getting off track. We're not dealing with the house. We're building houses and all that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about this particular item on the agenda. Let's stay focused
no,
on that.
I didn't have a meeting with them.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
I just
fine.
met with the neighbors, all the
Okay.
neighbors,
Individually.
individually.
Okay, all right. Is there anyone else who want to speak? Briefly. Wait a minute, wait, no. We'll get back to you. Is there anyone else here who want to speak briefly? Yes, come on, briefly, please.
My name is Joseph Simon Jr., and I live on 38 Motley Drive.
Okay,
And the reason I'm against rezoning that for business is because years ago we had a meeting at Union Chapel Church, and they said we wouldn't have no business on that road, the Old Wetumpka Highway. And see, at first we had a store, a little community store. And he tore that down when he got ready to clean off when he said he bought the land, he just tore all that down.
okay.
And now you want to put up a shop next and said that you want to rezone the property. I don't know when they had enough names to sign that don't live around there.
Okay. All
That's
right.
my problem. You
Okay.
shouldn't never change it to commercial. Because we said they want no business because they want to put a boat center in front of our sanctuary.
Gotcha.
And that's why.
Okay. Okay. I got you. Robert, why does the planning department object to this? You didn't think you were coming in here and just going to chill out, did you? Yeah, absolutely. This is number one.
Number one.
Yes.
So we did object to this particular rezoning request, largely because of the reasons that the neighbors in the neighborhood said. The majority of all of the property in the neighborhood is largely all residential. In any kind of small format commercial wouldn't be consistent with residential uses, and any type of use like this largely should be on the US 231 Wetumpka Highway.
Okay.
Barber shops and anything that's going to generate big time traffic. So that's our reason. It's not consistent with what's going on in the neighborhood right now. These are you look right there on that map, and all you see is nothing but single family residential houses.
Okay.
And to put in commercial business would be a disruption to those particular residential uses. So that's why we objected to it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
One final word. No.
No.
At the mic.
Sir, you need to talk in the microphone.
Yeah. Speaking to the microphone, I'll pass this around.
The petition speaks definitively about what his project is, and what I have is a photograph of property that's adjacent to where he is wanting to develop.
Right.
That has been abandoned for over 25 years.
Right.
And we have to face the fact that my community, where I grew up as well, there's no residential development there. And what Mr. Pettiway is offering to do is to return us back to what we once had. We once had stores in our community. In fact, we once had taverns in our community. He's not presenting that as an option.
Okay.
But there were taverns there, peaceful. There were shot houses all over Madison Park.
Okay, let's not get into
So what
that.
he's talking about is legitimate business that's service-oriented, that would offer something to the people that live there now.
Okay. All right.
They don't
Thank
want
you. No. We got to call it. We've got to go ahead. Now, Mr. Pettiway, Mr. Jeffcoat. My question to Mr. Pettiway and Mr. Jeffcoat is, do you want to go through with this, or do you want to vote on it tonight? Or do you want another chance to have a meeting with everybody in the neighborhood at one setting?
Well, I'd rather go ahead and vote on it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's your choice. All right.
I want to offer one thing.
Yes.
Mr. Butler. If you look at your own zoning map for that area, there's just B2s all up and down the whole Wetumpka Highway. So to talk about trying to hold on to it being residential is not reasonable. And
okay.
I'm almost shocked that the planning staff, the comments that they made.
Okay.
Mr.
right,
Jeffcoat.
Yes.
I'll ask you, or Mr. Pettiway, isn't part of this property that you've got right now already zoned commercial?
Yes. Part of this property that we're requesting right now is already B2.
So he could put something on it right now? Okay. I just wanted to confirm that that's...
But it needs to be cleaned up or it can plan for the whole parcel. We think. That's our feeling.
Okay.
I understand.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
What I want to say on that 1.3 acre is part already zoned business, but it's not enough.
Okay.
And the lady that was talking right there, her land joined mine, but from where her house at, all the way to Motley Road, all that zone business, the whole piece.
Okay, gotcha.
But that's just a small strip on the, coming off of the Wetumpka Highway, that just goes back, I don't know, plus or minus 200, 192 feet. Is that
Yes, sir.
what, it's not a,
It's
there's
a
not
small-
much width, is what I'm getting.
Right, small.
So you're trying to get to additional land
Right,
so that you would have, are you trying to use the whole frontage?
right.
All right, okay. And so what would happen to the back of this property? 'Cause-
Well, the back of that property is zoned for resident. We'll be a house. We got right next to that land. We building houses right next to it already.
So you plan to have a residential and a commercial property out there.
Right.
So how you gonna get to the houses on Wetumpka Highway if you're talking about building houses behind your retail?
What I'm saying is, I own the land next door where I'm already building houses at. I already got houses there.
He wants to know your access. How are you getting to
I got on both sides. I got access on both sides of where the house is at, and I got access enough room on the where I'm joining this lady property at.
You have to talk in the mic.
The B2 zoning? Yes, that's my property. All right, if I'm looking at the lot, yours is the left and my back is toward the Wetumpka Highway. Yours is the left. Okay, that just that little bit. But do you still own it? Yes. Well, I'm confused at what we're trying to do.
It's two pieces there. It's the little small piece is mine. The bigger piece is hers.
The small piece. Now, wait a minute, I thought that's what she was just telling me. The small piece was hers.
The small piece is not hers.
Not hers.
Yeah. If you look right
yours is to the left of this whole property, not the small part of this property.
Right, hers to the left.
Mr. Jeffcoat, do you understand what the question is?
I'm not sure I do.
I'm not sure either.
Well, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to understand, when I look at this plat, this preliminary plat, it reflects B2 zoning is the current zoning.
Okay, what we're looking at right there on that map right there, that's mine right there, little piece right there.
That B2 right there
That's
is
mine,
yours.
that's mine.
Okay, and yours is to the left of it, right?
That's mine right there, yeah.
It's been previously platted by Mr. Pettiway as a lot A, and even though there's a lot of lines on there, it's all his. And she's talking about to the left.
That's what.
Right.
Okay, all right, so you're to the left of this, and yours is zoned also B2.
I have commercial and, well, B2 and I have homes. That's how it goes all the way back.
What do you plan to do with the commercial?
Ma'am, you need to come up to the microphone, please.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we're recording this, so.
The largest of the business, the B2 property, that's where my parents had the club at. And then the homestead.
I'm sorry, had the what?
We had a club years ago. Mr. Ernest Wilson.
I think I've been out there.
Oh, Mr. Ernest Wilson and Kathleen Pamela Wilson. Cafe, yes. And then we had the homestead, the house next to that. And then he came in, and then our land, it goes far back. I mean, well, it's right here. I have it.
But you're objecting to him to have what you've got.
No, I mean, I don't know what, first they said he was building, townhouses and patio, but nothing ever come of that, but I don't know. And then he came in, well, he pushed dirt over on my property. He's been doing a lot of stuff, he thinks I don't know. But 2 days after we left here, he called my daughter and threatened her. Okay, so the rest, and he's saying, I have, for long years, my parents, well, you said you've been to the restaurant.
Wait.
Ma'am, why do you object to his B2 zoning?
Excuse me?
Why do you object to the B2 zoning?
I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I don't know.
He told you what he wanted to do. Why do you object to that?
Because it's a residential area.
Ma'am, yours is B2.
Yes, it is. Yes, and yes, it is.
Well, why do you object to his B2 right next to it?
It's on the other side. I mean, it's commercial property, right, I mean, yes, I mean, it's homestead property right between there. Right between my B2, I understood him to say the largest B2 property was his, and it's not. And then on this side, he's trying to get it zoned right here to business property. That's what I'm understanding.
So
Okay,
you're objecting to his B2 because you've got it and you don't want him to have it. Is that what you're saying?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
Did I hear it right?
What was that?
You're objecting to his B2 because you've got it and you don't want him to have it.
No, that's not it. Mr. Pettiway has done a lot of stuff, in the community.
All right.
And I'm just keeping up with what everybody.
Let's bring this to a conclusion. All right, now, Mr. Pettiway, one last thing. Well, let me understand that you only want to use it for a barber shop, beauty shop, mechanic shop, or something like that. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. You want to vote? Let's go ahead and have a vote. Yeah, no alcohol, of course. Yes. All right. Is there a motion?
James,
Yes.
in his petition that he had everybody sign, it also had catering and other items in that petition. Did you see that?
It doesn't count if it's not on this.
Oh.
From the way, correct me if I'm wrong, he's going to queue it as beauty shop, barber shop, mechanic shop. Only.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there a motion?
You do understand that by queuing it that way, nothing else can be built there?
Ever.
You do understand that now?
A little eating place,
No.
couldn't have that. Okay,
No.
we can just stick with what you got then.
Stick with what you got. So
We'll stick with
no
it.
alcohol,
No alcohol.
No food.
beauty shop, barber shop, mechanic shop.
Correct.
All right. Is there a motion? Do I have a motion?
That's number 2.
Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
You move to approve what?
Q, with a Q.
With those items that we just mentioned?
Those items you just mentioned.
All right.
Q.
Move to approve with the queued items as mentioned before. Barber shop, beauty shop, a mechanic shop, and definitely no alcohol. All those approved.
You don't have a second.
Oh, yeah, is there a second? I'm sorry, I stand corrected. Is there a second? All right, sir, you don't have a second, so there is no action.
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Chair.
Yes,
I make a motion that we deny.
well, we've already got one there to approve.
But
He can make another one.
Yeah, absolutely, I
Okay.
can make another one.
All right,
So I make a motion to deny based on the fact that it's mainly residential property around there, and that it's going to interfere with the integrity of that community. So that motion that we deny. And also it don't come in hand with the 2040 comprehension plan.
all right. Do we have a second on move to disapprove?
Second.
Second. And what exactly? So could you please repeat that again?
He's just not in line with it.
It's not in line with comprehension
It's
plan.
not in line with the 2040 comprehension plan, and also the majority of the property surrounding that is residential property, which is going to interfere with the integrity of that community.
Okay, roger that. All those in favor of the motion to disapprove? Please, to deny. Please raise your hand. All right, sir, your rezoning has been denied.
Mr. Cook, you voted against that motion?
Yes.
Okay.
All those opposed?
You didn't
Just
ask.
one opposed?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. My mistake. We've gone a little long on this. I'm a little
Okay.
off my game.
Item number 2.
Sir, you can talk to that lady over there, and she can tell you your actions.
They have item number 2 as well.
All right.
Item number 2, Jeffcoat Engineers representing Ted Pettiway requesting to rezone 3.34 acres on the south side of Old Wetumpka Highway from R50 and R60D to a B2 district.
And I'm still Guthrie Jeffcoat, same address. And we got the same situation here except a larger parcel, 3+ acres with split zoning in it.
Split zoning again.
And Mr. Pettiway, Mr. Taylor, you're gonna have to expound on more about the development than I can.
All right.
Fellas, come on.
Quite frankly, it mirrors the other one, so it would be more or less a ditto effect. So I see no need to prolong this meeting if it's gonna, the outcome is pretty much gonna be the same.
Okay, part of it is residential, and you want to make it all commercial, correct? And for landscaping. Am I understanding that right?
No, sir. I own 13 acres right there. I bought this land from the city of Montgomery.
Mr. Pettiway, speak to the mic.
I say, I own 13 acres right there, which I purchased this land from the city of Montgomery. They were supposed to build a community center on this land, but they never built it. So I'm only going to zone 3.3 acres of it, the front part of it, to do for business.
Where there's landscaping mentioned here, do you just want to make it a B2 and then you do landscaping or whatever?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Any questions any comments, questions from members of the board? Any question, comment from members of the audience? Yes, ma'am. Please come forward. Could you please let her get to the mic?
I'm Maxine Hendricks. That was where our community center is supposed to have Dr. Hegland say, so that to the city for us to build that community center. How he quick deeded and got it, we don't know to this day. We are trying to figure out how did he get it. And as Robert Taylor said, he lived in Madison Park. They moved into Madison Park. He's not Madison Park original. That's why he don't mind selling out. But we supposed to have that community center right where he's trying to put the landscaping trucking thing coming in and out.
Okay.
And we still want that land for our community center.
Okay. Robert, the same thing as last? Same thing. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
How did he get the deed to it if it belonged to the city of Montgomery?
That's a good question. I have no idea. I don't know.
Tanya, how did they get the deed?
I'm not involved in purchasing and selling the property.
Yeah, and I wasn't involved in it either, so I don't know. But same comment as before on the previous one.
How did you get it, sir?
Well, the land came up for sale. The city of Montgomery owned it. It came up for sale, and it was a sign put out there for sale. They all seen it, but nobody moved on it. I moved on it.
So you bought it from the city?
I bought it from the city of Montgomery.
The city had it for sale?
Had it for sale.
They were not going to build a community center on it?
No, sir.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, well, ma'am, or whoever was up here before, I don't quite understand why, if you knew that it was for sale, did you ask the city about it and the community center?
Into the mic, Mike. Please let her get to the mic.
Bobby Bright was in at the time that land was there. Nobody saw a for sale sign. What he's doing is quick deeding these people land, and nobody knows about it until, all of a sudden stuff is being built around into the resident. That is a full resident out there in Madison Park.
So he's had the land since Bobby Bright's? So at least 15 years?
Bobby Bright is the one that had that for the community center. All of a sudden, nobody knew why we didn't get our community center because he didn't quick deed it and took the land.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I give y'all a piece of information? The deed does say City of Montgomery sold it to him in 2017.
Well, that wasn't Bobby Wright's administration.
No, Bobby Bright is the one that the city brought it. Heckman say sold it to the city to build the community center.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, a motion is in order.
Move to approve.
All right. He did not get a second, so therefore we got no action, Tanya, correct?
All right.
All right. Next item.
I'm sorry. Item number 3, Jeffcoat Engineers representing ELIF Development, requesting preliminary approval of Ellsmead Addition preliminary overall on the south side of Ellsmead Drive, approximately 300 feet west of Meadow Lane in a B1BQ district.
This is the old Ellsmead Golf Club, south of the bypass and west of Woodley Road that we all are familiar with. A lot of people used to play there. And it's been shut down, I think, since about 2007. And my clients are buying it and want to extend the existing housing of the same type that's out there now, which is R75, I believe. Single-family dwellings. And we had a community meeting in the clubhouse, which is being underway right now, renovated, because it's been sitting out there gathering junk. And they're going to renovate the clubhouse and make it in some fashion to the community. And the only surprise that I've had is that we recognize that a portion of up in the northern corner is in the floodplain. And we have made an initial contact with Parks and Recreation to see if there was any interest from the city of Montgomery in doing some joint efforts. We don't know how good or bad the floodplain is. It could be that only 6 inches under. It may be 4 feet under and be prohibitive to develop some of that. Nevertheless, we've sent them a map to the Parks and Recreation, Mr. Card, and asked him to consider reviewing it from a standpoint of joint use or partial use or whatever. In other words, working together to try for the betterment of the community in that floodplain area. So naturally, the development will probably start on the south going north. I'll try to answer any questions I can. And of course, I hope some of my owner representatives are here. I was at the meeting at the clubhouse, and we didn't have anybody antagonistic. So I think it was a productive meeting.
Is that shadow area? Is
Sir?
that the part that if you could pull up the other slide?
It's at the end of Ellsbury Road and at the end of Ellsmead.
No, I mean, is that the shadow area on one of the slides that you're talking about, the floodplain?
You're talking about the floodplain? It's up there, there you are, up in there, behind those apartments that come off the southern bypass.
Okay. Gotcha.
Still in the shaded there.
Yeah,
and at the
shaded
time
area.
all that was
Yeah,
built,
that's what I was asking. Is it the
you know,
shaded
we didn't
area?
know too much about the floodplain. That was the beginning of floodplain analysis back there. And I don't even remember when Ellsmead was initially built and the housing done, in the 50s or 60s, somewhere in there.
So the project will not go that far as the floodplain until that's taken care of?
Yeah, and I want your blessings on the layout and to know that we have met with the adjacent owners, and we will get into some detailed engineering then and to try to develop some costs to see just what can take place up there in that floodplain. But didn't want to go very far without spending much money until we knew.
Correct. Any other questions from members up here? Are there any questions or comments from members of the audience? Anyone?
I just have a question.
Yes.
Has the community had this information? Yes, the 3 or 4 days before the meeting, we went door by door at 250 houses out there and put circulars on there inviting them to the public meeting and giving them a copy that you've got here of this layout. So they've been, as best we could, of course, you know, the ones adjacent to it all along there got a certified mail. But the rest of them got doors and windshields.
And they didn't have an issue with it, the project?
Pardon?
They did not have an issue with the project?
We had some that came by, but everything they said was positive. I thought it was quite positive that one lady mentioned that we sure would be nice to have some walking trails and whatever of the city up in that floodplain and make use of it. So I really don't know where that's going. I tried to call the Parks and Recreation director before this meeting and I couldn't get him. It's only been a short time, about a week. So we will continue along that route as we develop the plans. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How you all doing this evening?
Good.
So I'm Richard.
Name, address?
Richard Jones, representing the client on this development. And just kind of wanted to piggyback off of what Mr. Jeffcoat was saying. Client is looking to do affordable housing, emulate what's already in the neighborhood. We will say that the neighbors around, they've been very open to it. Before our clients purchased the property, it was being used for four-wheelers and there were bullets everywhere and there was trash, and so they worked with the city, they've cleaned it up, and so we've already made a stride just from not having unwanted traffic in the back and just looking forward to you all's blessing on us just adding to the existing neighborhood that's already out there.
Now, Mr. Jeffcoat mentioned R75, correct?
Let me make sure that it says on my drawing, proposed subdivision covenants to be equal to or better than R75S covenants of existing building plan. Or are we going to be at least that good, maybe better in some things?
Guthrie, I have a question.
Yes.
Also, right above there, it says your minimum typical lot is 100
Yes,
feet wide.
exactly.
So there's a conflict.
That's incorrect.
Should be 75?
It should be 75, I'm so sorry.
All right. Any other questions? Members of the audience? All right, motion is in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion been made and second. All those in favor?
Unanimous.
Those, okay. All right, good luck with your project, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Number 4, Flowers and White Engineering representing T-Square LLC, requesting final approval of Macklemore Spur, Plat 1, on the north side of Atlanta Highway, approximately 600 feet east of Taylor Road, in a PUD.
Good evening. I'm Kenneth White, Flowers of White, representing T-Square LLC. This property is the property that was rezoned PUD last year. We had several meetings with the surrounding neighbors. This plat is phase 1 of probably 3 plats of the property. It says it's 151 single-family lots and 1 commercial lot on the southwest corner of that property, as you see right there. It's been under construction for about 4 or 5 months. We probably have another couple months for it to be completed, but we're asking for final plat approval at this time.
Are there any questions from the members? Comments? Are there any questions or comments from members of the audience? All right, a motion is in order.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion been made and second. All those in favor?
Unanimous.
Thank y'all.
All right, good luck.
Number 5, Goodwin Mills and Kaywood, representing New Park Development, requesting approval of revised master plan to amend the uses for properties on the southwest corner of Park Crossing and Wilson Park Drive, and on the north side of Park Crossing, approximately 900 feet west of Ray Thornton in a PUD.
Good afternoon. I'm Judy Jones.
Good afternoon.
With Goodwin Mills and Kaywood, and what we're doing is kind of flip-flopping a couple of areas here. Originally, the town center was supposed to be in this area, and then of course there's been some development since then, and with the school and everything, and so we're going to want to move it up here, designate town center up here, which would be, more conducive to the area, to Ray Thornton. No, yeah, up here. Is that right? Yeah, Ray Thornton. And also, it was originally designated as office and church. Since that time, this lot right here is the church, so it was actually smaller than what they had originally thought the church parcel was going to be. So that's when we want to revise our master plan and change to where we're going to put this town center.
All right.
With all the moving around of the plats, are you reducing the size of any of the plats?
That's the next item.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. It's kind of confusing.
Well,
Is town center just another name for a single, for the area?
Like a shopping area, yeah.
Okay, it is a shopping area?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Are there any other questions? Are there any questions from members of the audience? Comments? All right, a motion is in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion been made and second. All those in favor?
It's unanimous.
Good luck, ma'am.
Next item, Goodwin Mills and Kaywood, representing SMB Land, requesting approval of a revised master plan for Jubilee to modify the lot sizes on the north side of Park Crossing, west of Ray Thornton in the PUD.
So I'm now representing SMB, and what happened is the parcel that you see here outlined in the green was and then down here in the yellow was 75-foot lots, and up here is the 60. When we were here 3 years ago, this was designated as the 75-foot lots, this was the 60. And once it got submitted to the city with the current developer SMB, they started developing 60-foot lots through the city. So this parcel has been, it's under construction, and houses are being sold, whatever, being built. So this right here is Plat 1 of Jubilee. Plat 2 of Jubilee, I believe, is the next item on the agenda. So it does, these lots right here did vary some as far as changing the sizes of, increasing the lots that's out there.
You went from 60 to 75? Is that what you're saying?
It was 60 down here.
Yeah.
And now the 60's up here. It just kind of
flip-flopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Any questions from members of the audience? Comments? All right. Motion is in order.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion been made and second. All those in favor?
Unanimous.
Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you. Next item, Barrett Simpson, representing SMB, requests final approval of Jubilee Plat Number 2 on the north side of Park Crossing, approximately 200 feet west of Jubilee Drive in a PUD.
Hey y'all, Jay Connor, Jay Connor with Barrett Simpson Engineering, Opelika, and we're just requesting approval of the final plat for Jubilee 2. Y'all have the information there, and we'll be glad to answer any questions you might have.
This is the second portion of the second part of.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Yeah. Are there any questions from the members of the board? Are there any questions, comments from members of the audience? All right, a motion is in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion is made. Second. All those in favor?
Unanimous.
Good luck, sir.
All right, thank y'all for your service. I know it's a thankless job, and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Very nice of you.
Thank you.
Next item, number 8, has been withdrawn. That was for 6707 Taylor Circle. Number 9, Andre Bruni, representing Cobalt Realty, requesting to rezone one lot on the south side of Woodmere Boulevard, known as 4770 Woodmere Boulevard, from an O1 office to a B2 commercial district.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm hoping I've been called for Andre Bruni.
Yes.
Okay.
Could you
Just
speak into the
making
mic a
sure.
little bit more?
I'm just making sure. My name is Marcia Jackson. I'm trying to make the doctor's office into a child care center for 4770 Woodmere Boulevard. The property has been vacant for a while, and I'm trying to make it out to a daycare center.
Now, if you make it to a daycare center, B2 to daycare center, you're willing to only do daycare, correct?
Yes, sir.
Queued for daycare.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are there any questions from the members?
Are you going to use the whole building?
Just 4770B, and that's
B.
over like
Yeah, because I know
3,000 square feet.
Prudential's
We
in
can't
part of it.
rezone just a portion of the property. You have to rezone the whole property. You can't just, that's just a portion of the building. I was under the understanding that it was the entire property because that's the legal description I have.
Okay, no, it's just A and B.
That's not the way it was
Because-
presented.
Okay.
Because part of it is occupied by Prudential.
You want to go back and look into that and bring it back to us next month?
Yes, I can do that.
Okay, no
Okay,
problem.
thank you.
No problem. Do you understand? Do you understand what she's saying?
She understands.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, you have a comment?
I'm John Stanley with John Stanley and Associates.
Yes.
Our office is almost across the street from this property. All of the properties that you see developed along there are zoned office. If you were to allow this to go to a B2 zoning, it would open up a lot of different uses that are absolutely contradictory with the other properties that are developed there. So we're going to be opposed to it. A B2 zoning allows a lot of different kinds of uses.
And that's why I mentioned queuing it for her. For only
Excuse me?
and that's why I mentioned it to her about queuing it only for daycare. That was exactly why I mentioned it to that. No, but I understand. It's just a comment.
We represent other property owners there. I have a letter here from a property owner that's 2 doors down. He's opposed to a B2 zoning, and we're also opposed to even a limited use for daycare. Okay? A daycare creates a lot of additional traffic.
Right.
Woodmere Boulevard is a 5-lane road. You've got a lot of people coming and going from that building delivering children. There's not good circulation around that building that allows traffic to come in and out of that property. There's one curb cut there. It's not a desirable use for a daycare.
Sir, what I would suggest is check with the land use office and see if that item is coming back up next month. And if it does, then you come back to the meeting.
I will be here to oppose it.
Okay.
Thank you.
But check with them to make sure it's on the agenda.
I will.
Okay, thank you.
Hi there. Thank you. I'm sorry, y'all waiting on me.
That's okay.
Item number 10, David and Catherine Douglas, representing Douglas Homes, requesting to rezone 4 lots on the south side of Carter Hill Road between West Haven Lane and Sanford Street from O1 to a R60M district.
Hi, my name is Catherine Douglas. My address is 52 East Farmington Trace, Pike Road, Alabama.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We're here to propose to get a property that's rezoned on at 710 through 780 Carter Hill Road. It's presently zoned for O1 office zoning. We want that to be rezoned for R60 multifamily residential zoning district. And what we plan to do with this property is to put up quadruplexes for student housing only. And only students will be, college students will be able to lease these rooms. Currently, I believe that there is some duplexes that are currently in the area, but what I believe, and we have, you have that up there, we already have the conceptual drawn as well as the floor plans of what we plan to put in the area. And these will be for college students, and we would target the areas of Alabama State University, Huntington, Troy, as well as Trenholm students.
Are you gonna build it, or are you gonna have a contractor?
I am a contractor.
You are the contractor?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And did I read this right with my magnifying glass, that it's all brick?
It is.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, that's a great location for what you're trying to do. Looks good.
How do we, my question is, how does the neighbors or whatever ensure that's only going to be college students?
Excuse me?
How do the neighborhood or whatever ensure that it's only going to be college students?
How do the neighbors know that?
Well, you mentioned college students on it, college
Yes.
students only.
Yes.
Then how will the people in the neighborhood
Currently, there
ensure
are
that it's only-
duplexes already that's being zoned and rented out in that area for college students.
How you gonna guarantee it?
Yeah, but how do you guarantee it? In yours mentioned quadplexes for college students only.
Okay, how would
Underline.
how do you suggest that I make that?
I'm not into that. I'm
Okay.
retired military. I have no idea how to ensure that. But how will you do it?
I'm not real sure how to answer that question as to how that you can ensure them. I know that this is our plan, this is our intent, and this is what we're putting our money into.
Okay.
And we've already started contracting with the engineers. We've reached out to the city councilman, Andrew Samansky, as well for District 7, told them as I had set out a meeting with them, told them of our intent. We've tried to reach out to some of the residents in the area, as well as the HOA that's zoned for the, I'm trying to think of that community that's behind it. It's, what's the name of that subdivision? Cloverdale. Now, they did respond back and said that they had no interest because it was no concern of theirs. We also reached out to Marsha Johnson in District 4 because it is so close to the school of Alabama State University. We wanted them to know and be aware of what we are putting over there so they would know. And as well as I have requested meetings with the mayor of the city.
I will ask again. On the agenda here it says quadplexes for college students only. And my question is, how do you ensure that it's going to be college students only? That's all I'm asking.
Well, I think he can prove that.
She can't.
I was about to say,
She
I
can't.
certainly
That's what I
can't
thought.
understand
But
your
on the
question.
same token,
I can't understand your question because I don't know any way to say 30 years from now when I probably There's no way for me to say
Okay.
that. I can tell you that what our intentions are now. I can
Okay.
tell you what we are building for, but I really don't understand your question is how can you ensure that?
Well, you made the comment about the student, okay? And that's what he's really saying. I think what you're gonna really want at the end of the day is just what you're requesting, that's multifamily residential, period. That way
And what
know,
you
that-
do with it is gonna be your
But,
business.
excuse me, Mr. Chair, but in Ms. Douglas' defense, every student that go to a college got a student ID. So if she wanted to make absolutely sure that she was renting to college students, they would present a college ID or she don't rent to them.
I
So
think
she
you-
can control that situation to a
And
certain
she
extent.
could be in a
So-
court of law pretty quick too. So
Well, I mean, well,
you can't discriminate like that.
but at the end of the day, you can kind of like rent to who you want to, though. As long as you don't just, you can rent to who you want to. So she can control it to a certain extent.
Are there any other questions from the members?
Yeah, you mentioned Old Cloverdale Association, but this location is not in Old Cloverdale, it's next to it.
No, we were
Have
just
you
trying
talked to the
be very
neighbors?
respectful to all our residents are nearby.
Have you talked to the neighbors around that area?
We have not. We did talk to the city councilman around that area.
Yeah, but they don't even look at this till we get through with it.
I'm sorry, I can't understand.
They don't look at this till we get through with it.
Okay.
What about the other schools that you mentioned? Have you spoken to?
Yes, I have reached out to all the other schools, with the exception.
Robert, it says the planning department does not object to it. Does the planning department does not object to it because of the quadruplex for a student college?
And it is in
college
line
students
with the
only?
comprehensive plan for Montgomery and how
Right.
they expect it for it to look.
Right.
Have you spoken with Alabama State yet?
I have not.
So somebody she took the words right out of my mouth on the comprehensive plan. So just as our comment says, we didn't object to the rezoning request. The rezoning request is consistent with the comprehensive plan based on the future land use map descriptions and primary uses allowed for what we call missing middle housing, duplexes, triplexes, and garden homes. So if you should have a comprehensive plan printout on the second page after the agenda page that
Right.
gives the descriptions.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
So what I'd like to know, Mr. Chair, is it because the full college students only? That's the problem? I mean, what if she removed that?
I never said it was a problem. I never said it was, I was just asking.
What I'm saying is we kind of like badgering them on something, I feel. And if it's the problem with full college students only, I'm quite sure she can remove that and just do her quarterplexes.
Well,
I mean, because we going back and forth on an issue that we
I think the concern is, would you just totally limit it to only college students, or would it be open for rental to whoever applies for it? Or did you intend for this exclusively to be for students?
As far as I know, is that against the law?
Well,
Is that against the law?
what, to have it exclusively for
Yes.
students?
That's going to be up to you.
I don't know.
Is to have it exclusively for students, the question that you're asking me, is that against the law?
I don't know.
I'm not an attorney.
Okay, then why would that question be brought up?
Listen, the whole thing was, and I don't want to beat this dead horse. The whole thing was, I just simply asked a question because it was on our thing was, is it only for college students?
Yes, it
and
is.
if it is only for college students, then my question would be, how would you insure it? And it turns out that you really can't because you're going to be violating the housing laws.
Because I'm what? I can't really hear everything you're saying. You said it turns out.
I said somebody mentioned that it could be against the law because of housing laws. I don't know. I have
Okay.
no idea. But that's neither here nor there.
Okay, great.
The whole thing is, everybody understands it. It's clear with everybody. Are there any questions from members of the audience? Comments? Yes, please come forward. Speak into the mic and give your name and address.
Hello, yes, my name is Irva Reed. I'm living at 714 Terrace Avenue, one block directly behind Carter Hill Road.
Yes, ma'am.
And this particular area has already come up once before for commercial rezoning, but which was denied. And most of a significant number of residents, almost 90% of them, did not want that. I believe that the residents need to have a discussion, or at least a meeting, which I know has not occurred. Okay, I know that. So I would ask that at least we give the residents an opportunity to learn more about this, and then before we move on any further.
You do understand, though, it's not commercial.
Yes, I do understand that it's multi-unit, and we're also
Yes,
against
ma'am.
that. We're also going to be opposed to that as well.
You're opposed to it?
Yes.
Yes, come on, come on.
I did reach out to try and find out, is there a homeowner association in that area?
Yes.
And there is not.
Yes, I
But
think
there's a
there is.
community association.
What'd you say?
There's a voluntary community association.
Sorry?
There's a voluntary community association.
It's a voluntary, okay, so where would I get that information
The
from?
lady is standing next to you.
She should have it.
Are you the president of the volunteer?
Actually, I'm not. So we are in Cloverdale Terrace, which is basically just the 2 blocks right after Carter Hill Road. The voluntary organization, I need to check into that because I'm not aware of it myself.
Well, there's neighborhood services will let you know.
Yes, okay.
Absolutely.
Neighborhood services
Absolutely.
is an organization that monitors and has a list of all neighborhoods associations.
Yes.
Okay. But we have been in process of starting one with bonds for Cloverdale Terrace. So,
Bonds is now neighborhood services.
Right.
okay.
Same thing.
Okay, but you can contact me.
Ma'am, behind you. No, behind you. She wanted to say something.
Hey, I'm Jasmine James. I live on 1551 Dunbar Street,
Yes, ma'am.
and I love the idea. My family had tried to do that. I'm with EJ Properties, and we do have a couple of duplexes and other single-family homes, and we have done great with our students.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And I think that that's what they're opposed to. But if you keep them on the wrap,
Sir, did you have something to say? Sir, did you have something to say? Sir, come forward.
To the chair and members of the committee.
Yes, sir.
My name is Joel L. Reed. I'm a resident in the area that's in question. And I come to petition you and ask that you reject this request to put multifamily residential housing over there. This is going to wind up being a dormitory or something very close. And when we, years ago, when we were building, doing work at Alabama State, our neighbors in and around Cloverdale, old Cloverdale, you call it, had some concerns about this, and we shared their view. And there's a fence on the north side of Carter Hill Road that runs all the way from what we used to call the old Big Bear, all the way down to, I believe it's Deer Street now. That would be the cutoff. There would be no expansion, no further apartments or anything south of Carter Hill Road. That was an agreement with all of us over there. It just wasn't folk, but it was folk south and also the folk who are building there and relocating there. That part of the neighborhood should not be changed. When I sat where some of you now sit on that side, one of my approaches was to avoid encroaching upon the neighborhoods. Now, I know the owners would like to sell this property and make more money if it's on it. They don't live there. And we're asking you not to do that. Now, I'm not suggesting that they can't be zoned. If they want to just be for single-family dwellers, I don't have any objections. If they want to be a single-family dwellers, okay. But multi-family dwellers, no. We, all of us, from south of Carter Hill Road all the way back, have an understanding and in a clear written agreement, not one we can enforce, but one that we can ask that you not rezone, unless if you're going to rezone it for single family, no issue. Now, if they're trying to build some multifamily units, there are some other places over there, down on South Decatur Street, right off in Patterson Court. There's some land they can get, swap, trade, what have you. But again, we strongly request, urge you not to change the zoning to multifamily units. That's about as clear as I know how to say it. We make that petition and honest. And thank you for allowing me to come and speak before you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One final word. My question to you is, come up to the mic. My question to you is, do you want to go back? No, I was talking to her. Yes, sir. No, I was telling her to come up to the microphone. Do you want to get with neighborhood services, bonds? Do you want to get with neighborhood services and see what neighborhood association is associated with this area, and then have a meeting with them and bring it back next month, or do you want to vote tonight?
Okay, can I make one final statement before I answer your question?
Sure.
I do understand Mr. Reed's concern, but considering that there has been something that's been voted on already with a comprehensive plan and how they intend for Montgomery to look in the next so many years, and what we have is in line with this, and what we have proposed in the front before you to build is completely brick, very nicely structured. And one of the reasons that we came up with this idea, I have a daughter that graduated valedictorian of her class of Thompson High School in 2021. And one of the reasons that she would not attend Alabama State University, although my husband family had 8 graduated from Alabama State University. I have a family with one sister and about 3 cousins, so we're very supportive of Alabama State University. But in today's time frame, when I have a valedictorian that would consider going to Alabama State University, but as all kids are now, they are a little spoiled. I don't like the dorms.
Okay.
I don't like the living arrangements.
Okay.
And we thought that we would be proponents of putting something very nice over there that would not bring down or hurt the property value in that area.
Okay.
Considering that there are majority, or a lot of them are single-family homes, but also there are already duplexes in the area. And there are already homes, single-family homes there that are already renting out rooms to college students.
Okay.
So what we're doing would be nothing any different than what is going over there, except for it'll be the latest and some of the greatest design in that area.
Ma'am, let me ask you one last question, if you don't mind, from me. How many units are you talking about on there?
This here, we're talking about 6 to 7 structure that will only house 48 students.
Well, but how many units?
It'd be 6 to 7 units.
Total?
Structures, 48 to 52 units.
How many buildings?
It will be 6 to 7 buildings. It will be between 6 and 7 buildings with ample parking. Parking has been taken heavily into consideration that these rooms will have ample parking, so there will be no street parking.
Okay, 6 or 7 buildings.
That will house 48 students.
I'm going to ask you again. How many units?
It would be,
because these are all separate, 6 or 7 units.
There would be 6 to 7 buildings that will house 48 students.
I know, but how many units?
How many units per building?
How many units per building?
It will be 8 units per building.
Okay. Okay.
Now, back to my question. The question before you. No, you.
I'm just going to confirm with
Oh, okay. What do you want to go back and, do you want to go back and confer with them?
We'll vote tonight.
You'll vote tonight?
Yes, take a vote tonight.
All right. That is your
Can I ask one question before we vote?
Yes. Sure.
How long do you intend to maintain this property?
Own it.
Own the property?
We intend to maintain this property indefinitely.
And own the property?
And own the property. And manage the property. We have a son that has a real estate development degree from Tulane University. And he will too be coming in as a part of this.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes.
Have you talking to anybody at Alabama State?
I have not. I first reached out to the district Representative Marche Johnson. Now I've reached out to her, but I have not had a conversation with anybody at Alabama State at this point in time because I was waiting for this to see if it's going to get approved for rezoning. Because in my mind, if it's not going to be approved for rezoning, there's no point in speaking to Alabama State. Now, there are going to, now I know it's in very close proximity to Alabama State, but this is for all college students.
Okay. Because they was just, so I got a call, they was just trying to see how would they police it? Like, with it being right by the campus, is it, I don't know, would it be, regular police or campus police or, because there are students right across the street, so that's what, they call me.
But like we said, it has to be a college student that lives there.
Now you said something about 48 occupants. Did you say 48 occupants?
Yeah, we're only speaking of 48 to 52 occupants. When
in 6 buildings.
6 buildings now. It's a possibility that once the house is demolished, that there can be a 7th. That's why I said it will be between 6 and 7.
6 buildings with 48 people. Okay. All right. Mr. Reed, could you come up? One last word. Yeah, come on.
Just one question, please.
Yes.
Will you ascertain where the proponents for this project live? Where do they live personally?
I'm sorry, could you say that? Could you repeat that? Could you repeat that?
To get the answer.
Now, could you repeat the question?
What do they do first?
He didn't understand your question, Mr. Reed.
Could you repeat the question?
Yes, sir. I was going through the chair, asking the chair
Yes, sir.
if you would ascertain where the people of this project, this proposal live, one, and what are they gonna, who they're gonna rent it to.
You want to come back? Come on back. He want to know where you live. Where's your address?
What is, I'm sorry?
Your address.
My address?
Yes.
My address is 52 East Farmington Trace, Pike Road, Alabama.
Okay. And Mr. Reed, I think she says she's college students, basically.
College students.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
With family members that, a large family members, a group of family members that are graduates of Alabama State University. So we are certainly a big proponent of Alabama State University.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Motion is in order.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion been made and second. All those in favor?
6,
Those opposed?
3. Motion passes.
All right.
We thank you.
It passed as the way it was
trouble.
written, so it's multifamily. It's not a caveat or key in that.
Right.
No.
Okay. Is that the way you meant it, Reggie? Okay.
Reggie, we have an election.
Reggie?
Yeah, we have some more business. We're not
Thank you,
finished yet.
ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. It's that time of year again. Election time. And I guess we'll vote on vice president first. Do we have any nominations for vice president? Tanya, you ready?
Yes?
All right. Do we have any nomination for vice president?
And Mr. Chair, I nominate Reggie Dunn as vice president.
Second.
I didn't hear you.
I said I decline.
You decline.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let's get us a chairman.
All right. Do we have any other nominations?
Do we have to have a vice chair?
Yes?
Do we have any other nominations?
You have 9 members.
I nominate
nominate Ms.
James
Stone.
Reed as vice chair.
And I nominate Ms. Stone.
I missed that.
He nominated Leslie.
Okay.
All right. I withdraw my nomination of James Reed and acquiesce to Mr. Dunn's nomination.
Because I was about to decline. That's exactly right. All right. Leslie Stone. Did I hear a second down here someplace?
Second.
Second, right here. All right. All those in favor of Leslie Stone, vice chair?
You're unanimous.
You're it, kid.
All right. And now for the chair.
I'd like to nominate
Nominate
Mr.
Garrett
Garrett Smith.
Don't everybody go at once. All right. Garrett Smith has been made. Any other nominations? All right. Garrett Smith has been nominated and second. All those in favor of Garrett Smith being chair, please signify by raising your hand.
Unanimous.
All right. And before we end the meeting, we have some other business to take care of.
Don't we have to nominate the secretary or the rest of them?
No.
Oh, okay. Whatever you got, James.
The lawyer's here.
Okay, all right. We have some other business we'd like to address. And who do we have?
Stacy Bellinger, and she can introduce her new associate attorney.
Stacy?
Hi,
Is
good
that you?
evening. I'm Stacy Bellinger. I'm the city attorney. I brought with me Carol Ann Pinkston. She's one of the attorneys in my office and loves all things land use, believe it or not. She loves it. She's
All
passionate
things
about
land
it.
use. All right. We had a few questions about things in general, and we just wanted to get clarification on it. Okay, it's nothing that has to do with Voting is nothing that has to do with an issue coming up or anything, but just general knowledge that we have. Since I'm the chair temporarily, I'll open it up for any questions for the members, and then I'll ask.
Stacey, what I'm interested in trying to find out was when we had the court case.
T Investments, yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry?
T Investments.
Yes, ma'am. I want to make sure we understood how we were being represented as a commission, okay? And was that you that represented the commission, or tell us how that happened?
Sure. Our office does represent the commission on matters like this. I assigned it to one of my senior staff attorneys, and she was responsible for handling the actual representation. Now, actually, I believe several members of the County Downs Neighborhood Association were present in court and introduced themselves and met her during some of the court proceedings.
Okay. And did we have a jury trial, or did we have just in front of a judge, or was it just briefs that were passed on? And
so any appeal on like the denial of a plat like that is only based on the record on appeal. So, and there was some fighting between the city, the planning commission, and T Investments about what constituted the record. We handle appeals from the city council to circuit court all of the time. Our argument and what the court agreed with us on is the record, is the minutes, the written opinion that's issued by the commission, the transcript of the actual proceedings, and any evidence that's introduced to the commission. So all of that encompasses the record. It goes up to the circuit court, and they give us an opportunity to write briefs on it. We wrote briefs, and then they allowed oral arguments so that we can answer any questions the court may have.
So you did have oral arguments in front of a judge.
They did.
And we had one of the attorneys, the lady I guess you're talking about.
Correct, Karen Rogers.
And Karen would have been the one who was there with the judge representing the commission.
Correct.
Okay. All right. And this is not trying to be a smart aleck. This is trying to ask a serious question.
Sure.
You know, I found it interesting that if I've had attorneys represent me and I've been in court, and I've never had an attorney not communicate with me. There was no communication. We couldn't even get it. I personally have asked during those weeks before, a week or so before, before the meetings, I asked on 2 different occasions, on 2 different meetings, that we have representation from the city in here. Because there were things that were coming up, the quote unquote homeowners had an attorney. The people that were trying to do the development had an attorney. And here we are with nothing.
Right, and we were well aware. We're always in touch with the staff. At the time, it was Tommy Tyson. I also spoke with Tanya Ingram about it. I believe Paula Wade was involved in our conversations. And the decision that was made was that I did not want to be before the commission giving legal advice and entering into debates with 2 other attorneys. So I issued a written opinion to Tommy Tyson, and he indicated that he shared it with the commission.
So, in essence, we weren't really represented.
Right. I disagree. I mean, we were representing you. Any of you could have called me.
But none of us were communicated with.
You are always welcome to call our office. We're available.
Are we allowed to request that you be here for one of the meetings? I think you ought to be here every meeting. But if are we allowed to do that? And if so, wouldn't that give us representation when we need it?
They will, and moving forward, if we have a case that we know will, and
I'm not talking about a case. I'm talking about just, you heard us sitting right here tonight, okay?
I did.
That happens every single solitary month. And we need help. We need somebody that can sit. You heard Robert have to get up 2 or 3 times. You know, we're not up here trying to act like an attorney, even though I guess I sounded like trying to advise the woman, because she certainly didn't want that cued like that. But can we have that?
you can.
You can, each month, you could have somebody that would be in here that if we have a legal question, who would be an attorney, if we had a question that we could physically ask them in that meeting.
We can do that.
Lord have mercy, lady, you have made my day.
Thank you.
I mean, I am serious as a
That's
heart
right,
attack.
that's right.
I
Thank you,
have
buddy.
begged for this. I've been
For
on this
years.
thing 16 years.
That's right.
And I think they'll tell you, more than one time, I've asked to have that representation. I think we ought to have 2 things in here every meeting. 1 an attorney and 2 an engineer.
I've got a question for you. Is there no appellate court between circuit court and Supreme Court, state Supreme Court?
It depends on jurisdiction. On this matter, the Supreme Court had jurisdiction.
Because this went straight from circuit court to state Supreme Court.
It did. Depending on what's denied, zoning issues are different than plat denials, but a plat denial, there is no, without getting too convoluted and telling you more than you want to know, but there is no method of appeal specified in the statute. It doesn't say you can appeal to city council, you can appeal to circuit court. So if there is no method of appeal that's specified, it's a writ. A writ of mandamus or a writ of certiorari automatically goes up on a record on appeal, and it's briefed. The court does not have to grant writ. It doesn't have to entertain any arguments. It can just deny to do anything on it. So when we send it up, we automatically write a brief on it, we submit the record, and we ask them to take it under consideration and under advisement.
Well, did anybody from your office go before the Supreme Court?
No, the Supreme Court typically does not have oral arguments. They only want briefs, and the briefs are based on the record that the court, the circuit court had. So they had all of their records, and the circuit courts, because the circuit court initially upheld the Planning Commission's ruling, and all of that went to the Supreme Court, and we wrote briefs on it. But they don't. It's not often that they are going to hear oral arguments from us. I think I've argued before them since I've been with the city one time. 11th Circuit, I've argued several times on matters, but usually not on these matters, especially if they are pretty clear cut.
I have a question. In most instances, the things that we pass is a recommendation to the city council. If someone or some entity appeals something to the city council, to the court from the city, then they are bringing the city council on that, not us, correct? Am I wrong? Am I right or wrong?
Again, it depends on what's being denied.
Yeah. I know
certain things can be appealed to the city council.
Yeah.
Other things, there's nothing in statute that says a denial by the Planning Commission may be appealed to the City Council or may be appealed to Circuit Court. So if that language isn't provided for, then what's available to us, it's called a writ. We also file them. If we get a bad ruling in Circuit Court that we're not happy with, we can file a writ to the appellate courts from the Circuit Court. And again, they often will not even grant writ. They won't even listen to arguments at the appellate level. But from here, on a plat denial, a preliminary plat, it is a writ to circuit court.
Now, the way you explained that, it sounded to me like there was an entity that was between the circuit court and the Supreme Court when you said on an appeal.
On the Court of Civil Appeals.
Okay, so there is one.
There is another
Okay,
one,
okay.
and it depends on the topic. It depends on the monetary value, many different things.
And whether they want to do it or not.
Right.
I mean, that's
And if it goes to the Court of Civil Appeals, if they deny, then you can go to the Supreme Court. Oftentimes, people appeal to the Supreme Court. Sometimes they will send it back to the Court of Civil Appeals and tell them to handle it.
Yes.
But the Supreme Court took this one.
I want to give you one more thing, and I promise you this is, you don't know how much we appreciate you being here. You just don't, I mean, I promise you.
Of course. Well, and I'll reiterate, if you have questions, we get calls from the city council all the time. Obviously, I can't speak to a quorum unless it's here, or if it's there are very limited circumstances. The reason I mentioned if there's potential litigation, because in those circumstances, we can come in and you can adjourn into an executive session.
Right.
And during executive session, we can have a clearer discussion than what I would like to have in an open forum.
But little questions like tonight, okay, about that lease. I mean, I know that if you built a building and you're leasing it to the general, whoever,
right?
You can't just deny somebody because they're not a student, okay? But it would be nice to be able to say, because I mean, I don't have any the authority or whatever, but I know good and well, and I made a comment to somebody up here. I mean, all they're fixing to do is open up a lawsuit. It's going to take, and so that's the kind of things that happen, like I say, every time. All right, one last deal. I lied to you a while ago.
That's okay.
I don't know who wrote this. I don't know if you did, or I don't know. I'm just going to read it, and I'm going to tell you, it kind of hit me wrong. The planning committee, this is just part of 2 or 3 paragraphs, okay?
Okay.
And, but I read that the planning commission denied the plat against the advice of their staff and advice given by the legal department. Now, I'm going to ask this because I hadn't. Is there anybody up here that knows or remembers us having someone tell us that we shouldn't be doing that? I mean,
I do not remember.
I was on
That's
the
what the
planning
legal-
commission, I
legal
was here for
aspect.
that day.
Especially that.
And that did not happen.
yeah, so that's what just flew all over me when I read that. I just to be real candid with you, my footnote is BS. Okay.
Well, and, unfortunately, Tommy Tyson isn't here to address it or have a conversation with us about it. But I can guarantee there are email chains and there were plenty of phone calls between me and the staff.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you at all.
Certainly.
I'm not. I'm just saying, once
Certainly.
again, we were supposedly represented. Nobody talked to us.
Right.
Okay.
I hear what you're saying.
And
I understand.
I believe if I got an attorney, I want to talk to him. So,
Well,
all right.
Tanya
I'm hushing.
and I will tell you all, Tanya knows how to get in touch with me. She calls me all the time. I call her all the time, asking her questions. So if any of you need me, you can reach out to her. If you don't, or call the direct line to legal, and they'll find one of us.
Well, there are a lot of times that it's not fair to put her in that position when it's a legal question that she can't be held responsible for answering something like that.
I'll just direct you straight to their office.
Right. I was saying she can put you in touch with us.
Okay.
Is this case now settled forever?
Yeah,
Well,
the building.
the preliminary plat is.
Okay.
Let me ask you something else about tonight.
About tonight?
Yeah,
Okay.
about tonight. You know, on our agenda, it has that last item. The intended use for this property is for quadplexes for college students only. That's what we got. And that's what we read. And that's what we're working from.
And that's what she said.
And,
what she
and
said.
that's what we're
It's in
working
writing.
from. But I know, and everybody up here knows, that that's not gonna
Fly.
That's not gonna fly, as far as her part goes. You know, but we're looking at it as, okay, we'll pass this for college students. But it's not really for, I mean, it can't legally be only for college students.
But we didn't pass it for college students.
Wait a minute.
No, but
No,
I'm
we
just
did not.
saying,
We did not pass it for college
intended for, when we have things like this, and the wording is not quite right, do we just go ahead and pass it and then assume that it'll work itself out, or not
Right.
pass it?
Well, and what I've heard you do tonight is you do place certain limitations at times. Of course, you would not put a limitation in place about only renting to college students. What I heard and what I understood was that they intend to market it heavily to college students. And they anticipate, because of the lack of sufficient housing for college students, that that's who they will be housing in those facilities. That's what they want to do. But I don't think they intended to say, we will refuse everybody else, but we intend to target those. That's what I interpreted.
I mean, that's the understanding.
Right.
But the thing that we got says quadplexes for college students only. That's what's written on our sheet. You know, whenever somebody come in here and says, you know, we want this B2 and we're not gonna build a service station there, we'll queue it for that.
Right, but if you don't, if you just rezone it.
Yeah, for B2.
So if you just
then all bets
rezone
are off.
this without queuing
Then you
it
can
for
go live
anything,
there.
then those
Well, you can go
limitations
live in
aren't
that
there.
I do what?
You can go live in that group.
And so that's,
With that group of
that
college
was my
students.
problem with this one, is the wording that we got. And that's why I wanted to clarify it, you know, as best we can, you know, which is not very well done. You know, it's basically a multiplex apartment. I mean, that's what it should have said, it's just a multiplex apartment. Intended for college students. And
the
not
odds are that's who's
for
gonna
college
probably
students
lease
only.
Yes,
You know, but we're in agreement.
we're in agreement. Let's go on.
Do you have any questions for us?
I do not think so.
You ready to get out of here?
No, I was here Tuesday night in this same seat, so I'm very comfortable.
Well,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, yeah, we do.
Very much.
And we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Tanya.
Meeting adjourned. Meeting adjourned.
Okay, I think we're adjourned.